Welcome to Bindlestiff Nation. This is Bindlestiff Joe, and this is our part 6 of our secret storage videos. Enjoy.
Dogs. The puppy that had broken his toe, which is all healed up now, had a cyst. He got that removed today, and he was supposed to keep his bandage on for 3 days. It's been about 6 hours. We had to take it off. These are the screws that I'm going to use, and stick out just a little bit too far, so I'm kind of countersinking them just a little bit, just to kind of get them a little bit lower. This thing's going right in there, and it's got to pass that screw. It's actually pretty good. And now that I moved that piece of plywood, my clock is back. Yay! A couple of things. First off, I thought for sure that I had enough room in here to put both of these tracks. But once I got that piece of plywood out of my way, it was clear I didn't. So I had to cut off about 10 inches off of this one. It'll be fine. The other thing is, I just could not get the screws in there with it facing like this, which is how I wanted it. But went in really easy, like facing like this. So what's going to happen is, instead of these hanging behind the plywood, we're going to have to hang in front of the plywood. I'm going to hit them with some black spray paint anyways to try and cover them up a little bit, but not as happy about that. It'll be easier to get everything loaded up too, because it'll all be in front instead of behind. So, and plus I was able to just stick it right up against the wall, the joist, instead of trying to pull it out and have it out a little ways and guesstimating about how much room I needed. So everything said and done, this will be a little easier installation. It just won't look the way as good as I was hoping. I got it trimmed up, and I think I got it the right length now. This set was obviously for a pair of bypass doors, and there's 4 rollers that come with it, and I was going to use all 4, but closer inspection, they're a little different. This one's a little flusher than this one. That's probably because they're designed to go past each other. So I'm only going to use the 2 that are more flush. Oh, it might be better if I use ones that are sticking out further. Yeah, I'm going to use ones that stick out further because I want the top of the piece of plywood out a little bit so it hangs straighter down, because there's some stuff behind it here that's kind of pushing it out a little ways. Okay, well, partial success. You can see down here though, it's sprung out. I'm thinking if I move these tracks out a little farther and hang at a better angle, it does rather work. So, partial success. I am going to go back with plan A, I think. I'm going to pull this track down. I'm going to flip it around. I definitely want to hang in the other direction. I'm going to switch the wheels out for the low profile ones, because I'm going to have them hanging from the back now instead of the front. And I'm going to, here where it's where it joins together, I want to make sure that's a little more secure than just hanging in midair. So I'm going to take this piece of track that I cut off and trim the excess stuff down, and then screw it on so we give it a brace from the back. And then I'm going to take the track, flip it around, pull it out a little bit. I'll just reattach it all at one time, and then hopefully I get the plywood mounted, and it'll hang further out so that it leans in instead of outwards. Cutting a small piece of metal like that with the jigsaw is just no fun. I just want a little piece of wood here. Tapped and screwed it in, and it seems to be pretty good, fairly level. You should have very little trouble going over that. Trouble hitting those screw heads, but I don't think that'll be an issue really once it's all hanging up. Okay, now I got it mounted up here. It's a huge pain in the tush. I only got 4 of the 5 screws in it, considering when I had 5 in before, it still seemed a little wonky. I'm kind of concerned about it. The only one that's really good is on the far corner there, and it really tightened everything up quite a bit. It was really hard getting between the beam, the joist, and the track. And that one I did just by hand. These other 3 I used the screw gun to get them started, and then try to tighten them down in the end. Never had using a handheld screwdriver better than a powered screwdriver before, but I should have done them all that way. With the last one in here, I can't get in there to get it up there. So, all right, well, that's where we're at. Got it up. I'm a little happier with it. Still has a little bit of a gap down there. I think it's more because the board is warped than anything else. At this point, I'm not going to worry too much about it. First did this, I was having trouble where I had that joint there, and what I had to do is move these shelves out a little bit just so I could swing it out a little bit to get the rollers past the joint. Opens and closes pretty good. I'm very, very pleased with it. Much happier than I was the first try. And right now it's just time to get everything loaded back up.
In the end, I decided the best thing to do was to put a piece of trim, cover that gap in the back. Unfortunately, the trim was too big and I had to move my clock. Everything's good now. So this is Bindlestiff Joe, signing off for Bindlestiff Nation. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Aloha.